Zenless Zone Zero's release date was just revealed on the Apple App Store, and it got me thinking, you know what, there have been a lot of major gacha announcements over the course of the last 6 months to a year. I figured I'd go ahead here and condense all of these together into one larger video. That way you guys are kept up to date and made aware of everything happening in the genre. These are pre-registrations, release dates, test phases, new releases. These are the announcements that you may have missed that you're now gonna know about. With this in mind, I strongly urge you to watch as much of the video as possible. Also, if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel, hitting the little bell notification. That way you remain up to date with every single thing that I post, and I post every day. Do not miss out. Let's begin with Abyss Knights. This is a brand new top-down isometric action gacha game that actually looks really good. Pre-registration is open and available if you're interested. As we noted, Zenless Zone Zero's App Store opened pre-registration with a release date slated for July 3rd. What this means is that the game will be releasing on July 3rd or a date approximately around July 3rd. Girls Frontline 2 released in China, and while there was a lot of drama surrounding it, the character models did not disappoint. Players are eagerly anticipating the global release, myself included. Punishing Grey Raven officially launched on PC. I feel like all gacha games that have action combat, Punishing Grey Raven, Ether Gazer, these games deserve a PC client and potentially a console port to fully take advantage of their combat systems. I just don't think action gameplay is very intuitive utilizing your thumbs on a little screen. Manju, the studio behind Azure Lane, announced a brand new open world action combat creature collection farming gacha game called Azure Prelia. This has quickly become a lot of people's most anticipated upcoming gacha game of 2024, 2025. Not only can you freely fly around the world, not only is the combat incredibly fast and fluid, not only are the characters incredible to look at, not only is there a functional, more casual side to the game, but it's already significantly through its development process. Before we cover any additional announcements, though, I want to take a moment here to thank my incredible patrons over on Patreon who allow for me to continue to do dedicated videos like this every single day. You guys are absolutely incredible, and I cannot thank you all enough for the support. Now let's keep talking. Axis of Eternity is another upcoming anime gacha game that was announced that shares a striking resemblance to both Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. Pre-registration is open and available for this as well. This is a work in progress, so do keep that in mind. Wuthering Waves announced that they're going to be launching fully on May 22nd, globally, all around the world. This is roughly a month and a half before Zenless Zone Zero launches, so Zenless is going to probably have a direct impact on the early success of Wuthering Waves, but at the same time, this gives Wuthering Waves a solid month or two head start to accumulate a lot of money and to acquire a strong player base. Additionally, Wuthering Waves had a 5-star beginner banner leak offering players the ability to choose one of the limited 5-star characters or one of the standard 5-star characters as their max rarity unit of choice. I wish more games would do this. Destiny Child, the predecessor of Nikke and Stellar Blade, terminated their service as of September 2023. This was one of the biggest disappointments, one of the saddest announcements of its respective year. Returning Dragon Tides is another action gacha game. Not only can you freely explore a large open world, but a lot of the game also takes place as a horizontal side scroller, which is a very interesting way of tackling the game, offering two completely different gameplay modes. Pre-registration for upcoming beta tests is currently open and available. They're in their 3rd beta test right now. Blue Archive upset a lot of Chinese players when they held a collab with the Mahjong Soul game. Mahjong Soul has a bond system which allows for you to bond with several of the Blue Archive characters. The Blue Archive Chinese players sent a protest truck in front of the Blue Archive studio because they believed that they were essentially being cheated on, that by holding this collaborative event, the Blue Archive waifus that they have all rights to are essentially engaging in a form of NTR. It is just the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Speaking of Nikke, just a moment ago, they held a collaborative event. They've held a lot of collabs actually, but this one in specific offered these characters, both 2B and A2. And they did an absolutely phenomenal job of emulating their unique movements and body types. I thankfully obtained both of these characters, and they were definitely worth the money that I had to spend to actually unlock them. Snowbreak was on the verge of death. So what did they decide to do? They could improve the game, make it a game that was more fun and entertaining for players, or they could become a Coomer game. So what did they do? They became a Coomer game. Yep, with a strong focus on what you're seeing here. And you know what? It has worked out exceptionally well because their earnings have actually increased by several times. So they evidently know what they're doing. Arknights Endfield had a brand new trailer release, a gameplay trailer, a teaser trailer, and they also held a beta test, an open beta or a closed beta test that allowed for thousands of people to get in, actually play the game, and see what it looked and felt like. This is the first time in years after going completely radio silent after their initial announcement. We're inching ever closer to the release of Endfield, with pre-registration open for not only the release of the game, but also future test phases. Genshin Impact's developer Hoyo entered the top 15 largest private companies with $23 billion valuation thanks to Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, Honkai Impact, and no doubt Zenless Zone Zero is going to help them push beyond the top 15. Given like just 10 years ago, Hoyo wasn't even relevant. Probably like 6 years ago, Hoyo wasn't even relevant. This is quite the revelation. Noah's Heart, which was touted as one of the biggest gacha game releases of the last year, having, how many players was it? Almost 7 million pre-registered players according to their website. Shut down after like a year of service and a grand total of like 23 people playing the game. Project Cresant is a brand new upcoming anime RPG that actually looks incredibly cute. Very little is known about this so far. All we have are some still images and a singular trailer showcasing very little of what the game is, in what is arguably the fastest gacha shutdown in history. Love Live's School Idol Festival 2 Miracle Live announced that they were releasing and shutting down in the same tweet. I don't understand what they were thinking with this, announcing an end of service at the launch of their release. It just, I don't know. That would have motivated absolutely no one to play their game. Solo Leveling Arise is confirmed to be releasing globally on May 8th. That's next month. That's actually like 2 weeks from now, a little over 2 weeks from now. I played the game. I did a video with Vulcan recently. He went on to say that that was one of his most anticipated upcoming gacha games. So this might be interesting for some of you. It was definitely interesting for me to play. Duet Night Abyss is an upcoming gacha game that held a technical test recently, and oh my god, was it fun. I did not expect the game to be as good or as fun as it ultimately ended up being. And I cannot wait for future progress to be made, future test phases to be opened, so I can get in and play more. Unending Dawn, which is a game that was first announced, I think like a year or two ago, announced a brand new gameplay trailer showcasing a lot of new footage, a lot of new content. Not only did we get a cinematic, not only did we get a story, voice acting, an incredibly hot waifu, a new hot waifu, but gameplay, mechanics, this is probably going to go down as one of the most anticipated gacha games of 2024, hands down. There's no way there is really going to be any gacha game after Zenless, Azure Prelia, and Wuthering Waves releases. There isn't going to be a single gacha game that has more hype than this one does. And that is what I believe are the major announcements that have taken place over the course of the last like 6 months to a year. I might have missed a few things, sure. If I did, you can go ahead and let me know down in the comment section below. I'll do an updated video maybe in a month, maybe in a few months from now, if anything else major happens to happen. But we have a lot to look forward to this year, in the next few months, next year. I hope you're ready, because the gacha genre is only continuing to grow. Now, if none of these games, none of these announcements are of any interest to you, absolutely no problem. I got you covered with 2 different videos on the screen right now. There might be more up your alley.